Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. Today, this particular guest, Cole Peacock, the one and only Cole Peacock with Seed and Bean Market. We finally did it. We've tried a couple of times. We got it down. His background looks good. He's looking good. And so we're going to talk about Florida's first cannabis cafe. So our topic today is all things cannabis. He's going to tell us all about Seed and Bean Market and all sorts of good things that are going in our world. Welcome, Cole. How you doing today?
Hey, good, Ted. Glad to be here, man. And yeah, we finally got it worked out. So let's make sure let's have a damn good show.
You damn right. I like that. All right. I told you before we went live, the audience loves origin story. Obviously, you weren't a kid and you dreamt of being in the cannabis world. So they love the journey. They want to know how you got here. And then once we do that, we'll start talking about the cafe.
Yeah. So the story is, it's not much different than some of the other people that find themselves into the cannabis world. Mine may have been a little different path. To start with, in Florida, my family's 5 generations here, and we've been in the ag industry for a very long time, but I kind of took a different direction and spent the bulk of my early professional career in corporate America in women's retail, and spent some time with Chico's and some other retail companies, and really, got to see a bunch of different things, and artistic side of the world, the design side, the retail side, and was also very active in the legislative process as a registered corporate lobbyist as well.
Wow.
So all that being said, Ted, that the better part of 10 years ago, this cannabis conversation in Florida really started to take place. There was a couple of attempts to get medical marijuana on the constitutional ballot. It failed. The second time it came through, I was lucky enough to be part of a team that was kind of brought in to fix some of the things that happened on the first go round. It got passed, and then became.
Hallelujah.
How old am I? I am 48 years old.
No, I said hallelujah, but you did not.
Oh, hallelujah!
You look young.
Well, thank you for that. It's. I tell you what, it's the CBD and the cannabis and everything else. It does wonders for your skin. So as the industry kind of developed, and the medical marijuana side in the state of Florida came into play, that kind of opened up the corridor for larger scale acceptance, and we were very active on that stage. We helped legislation get passed, like I said, and then the federal farm bill came into play, which really legalized the cannabis industry from the hemp perspective. We were active in that on the federal level, and then on the state level, very active. I was lucky enough to be appointed to the Cannabis Hemp Council for the state of Florida by the Department of Ag, and so we were very integral in crafting the language that allowed these things to take place, and here we are. Now, the other side to that is, my mom developed a rare blood disorder at a fairly young age. I mean, she passed away in her early to mid 60s, and towards the back end of that, cannabis was one of the things that really allowed her to function in a different capacity, not live off pharmaceuticals, and not live off pain pills, and not live off things that just were not good for her body and good for her well-being. And she wanted to spend time and see her family go through. So I saw the wellness side firsthand. I've seen it with friends of mine that deal with, long-term illnesses or going through recovery of certain things. And so for me, it's been a passion. It's something that's been in my life, my entire life. But the wellness side really is something that has given me a fire to go do more.
The wellness side is so important. It's the part that I feel like the naysayers don't spend enough time focusing on.
I would totally agree with that.
And I think that so I want to ask a question. Nobody's asked this, but I've heard it before, and I think it would be good. The difference, if you can, educate us. The difference between, if there is, hemp, cannabis, and then how THC all plays into that. Because I think people because they are uneducated, everything gets lumped together. And somehow THC is the devil. And so I think that people don't understand the wellness side of all of it and how they differentiate. So instead of saying, yes, cannabis, no to this, they don't realize how the wellness part plays and how everything is not exactly the same.
Yeah, so you've got the cannabis plant, and then you can pull, on one side the marijuana side, and the other side the hemp side, and it's really a THC and CBD conversation. And the THC is what gives you that psycho effect, gets you high. The CBD is the wellness component and has the wellness qualifiers. Not to say that THC doesn't help in some capacities and do other things, but the cannabis plant really is what it all derives from. And then you can extract different elements out of that plant, whether it's a specific type of strain, and you pull different profiles out of that strain, or whether you're just pulling CBD out of it or THC. But it all comes from the cannabis plant. And I'll tell you, if people go back in history, they will look and see how the cannabis plant did a bunch of things. And military used to use hemp fiber for their clothes, and
yes.
you've got some very important papers around our U.S. government that's written on hemp paper. And but when the war on drugs became a hot political issue, to your point, that's when they focused in on marijuana, gave it a bad name, and said it's the devil. Anyone who's used it for all the right reasons can tell you that it's not the devil.
No, I always admit, and I've been having people who talk about cannabis on the show since I started the show. Yeah. I'm a card-carrying medical marijuana person, and I had never. My experience was I had never smoked anything or done any kind of quote unquote. I don't consider it drug, but that's how people lumped it in.
Sure.
I had never smoked anything, and so my first experience with it was under the care and advice of a doctor. Yeah. And it has been, when I had cancer last year, it was life-changing. It definitely was helpful from everything from the relaxation to the pain to there were so many amazing benefits. And I haven't even ventured, I still don't smoke. I take the tincture. So you can have tincture pills. Sure. There's all sorts of ways for you to put it, to consume it. And I found the tincture the easiest one for me. And I tell you, I believe my experience with cancer would have been completely different. I would have probably been on some sort of pain pill. I probably would have, who knows, but I can tell you having that, beautiful.
To that point, I mentioned my mom earlier. I mean, they would give her Marinol, which is a synthetic, and it would knock her out, Ted. And it just, you're kind of reliving those moments. I mean, you're a firsthand experience of how using it the right way and using it for the medicinal purposes does what it's supposed to do. Yes. I mean,
and people will say, well, do you take? There are some of them that I take that have a higher level of THC than the cannabis. The way that most of the companies, there's a ratio that goes on. And I want to give kudos to all of the companies that are local and in my area. They're all about education, and they're all about making sure it is the right formula, the right strain, the right everything for you. And so you're not just left to the wild and try to figure it out. They really do want you to find the one that works for you, and everybody's different. So I had to switch it up, and I had to go back to my doctor and say, this is what I'm experiencing. What do I need to do? And so the industry as a whole, I feel like, is incredibly supportive. You just have to ask. You have to allow them to educate you.
That's entirely correct. And, the industry will not be successful if that element is not there, if there's not an education, if there's not a screening type, there's not sitting with your doctor. And you're right. Most of the locations you're going to go to, they're going to have some sort of educational component to it. And they're going to explain it. They know their products, yes. And that's true with us at Seed and Bean. When we went through this process, Ted, there is and was not a cannabis cafe in the state of Florida.
Yes,
And
let's talk about that. What is
yeah,
a cafe? Explain to them what this is, because I love this and I haven't done enough research to speak about it. That's why I like you to speak about it.
yeah. So, with Cannabis Cafe, that we are the first in Florida. We're the only one in the state. We're fixing to open our second location tonight. Actually, we're
Wow,
doing our friends and family.
congratulations.
Yeah, in Venice, Florida. So we got location first one in Fort Myers. Um, the concept behind this was being able to integrate the CBD and hemp plant and components of that plant into food, into drinks, into protein shakes, into protein bites, granola bites, and then you can see kind of over my shoulder the Pure Native CBD line that we have. But we consider ourselves trailblazers in this industry. And when we went to open up the Cannabis Cafe, you can only imagine what we had to go through, because
Crazy, I'm
the
sure.
the Department of Health had never been exposed to this. Food inspectors had never been exposed to it. The state of Florida wasn't exposed. The city government, the county commissioners. So the first thing we did is we sat with all of them. We sat with Commissioner Freed and the director of cannabis, Holly Bell, with the Department of Ag, and said, "Can we do this? And this is how we plan to do it." Got their sign off. Got the sign off from the Department of Health, especially on the food inspection side of things. And then we had to get the sign off of the local governments. And so we brought everybody into a room and sat down and said, "Okay, if you're not going to let us do it, tell us now or tell us why. We're going to fix it, and then we're going to come back to you." And as we spent a couple of days meeting with everyone from state attorneys to sheriff's office to city managers, they all were like, "Yeah, okay, you've got your plan together. It makes sense." And it's not. You had to have some forward-thinking people too. You had to have a city that was very open to the concept, wanted to see a new business, wanted to see something different in their city and promote it. And so it's a cool experience. Like we tell everybody, it's the chillest experience in town. And you can come in there and get our CBD seltzers here, which you can see from Pure Native. Which, by the way, Ted, this is the first CBD seltzer that is a true Florida product, made with Florida hemp, processed in Florida. It's all the fruit, natural fruit nectar from Florida. So we're proud to have the Fresh from Florida seal of approval on that, it's a big deal.
That's amazing, Cole.
It is, and it tastes just as amazing. So
yum! Yeah, actually, all in my mind, and I want to get to this. Seedandbeanmarket.com is your website. Now, yes, tell us, can people, what do they find on there? Like, do people have to physically, because I never know the answers. Do people have to physically visit the cafe, like physically go somewhere, or can they in Florida order from your website?
Yeah, they can order from the website, and they can also check out the menu and look at all the events we're having, and they can order CBD products on the website as well. In the store, we carry multiple brands. We pride ourselves on the testing requirements and being rigorous with those, so that when you buy it, it is exactly what you think it's going to be. And then they can also visit us, at our Pure Native website and buy the Pure Native brand, which we've got melatonin to help you sleep, and we've got some incredible lavender lotion that you can use on a full body or a specific area. I'll tell you, one of the favorites in my household though are these dog treats. Anytime.
Let me see. Put them up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't know how many of your listeners have dogs that are afraid of thunder and lightning and loud doors, but I went out and thought I had gotten the best hunting dog ever, and you say boo and he rolls underneath you. Yeah. So he's a big fan of those dog treats when it comes thunder time. Yeah.
I love that and that's the thing I think people don't realize. You have a wide variety of products. And so the best, I feel like always the best way, check out the website. And you guys are, I know, since I know how you're amazing about educating and listening and answering questions. And, because there are people who are like me, who would have been lost if someone had not helped me figure out. And then each thing is different. Each dosage depends on, everybody's different. So I've had friends that say, well, I tried it, it didn't help me. I'm like, well, did you just try it once? Did you adjust? You take half of it? Did you talk to your doctor? Did you talk to the advisors at whatever place you go to? Did you actually have a conversation? No, I just tried it once. And that is such a big mistake, in my opinion.
That is the biggest mistake you can make. I mean, we tell everybody, use it for 30 days. Use it like you would a regular prescription. It's either going to work for you on that time period or it's not. Some people, it takes longer to get into their system, and especially into their endocannabinoid system, and really go and help give some of the relief you're looking for. If you do it one time, probably not going to see the benefits.
I mean, it's because I think there's still sometimes a crazy stigma. Like when I did my very first show where I talked about having, I didn't even have my medical marijuana card at the time, but I was promoting cannabis and education. I mean, I can't tell you how many people in the beginning would say, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. Aren't you afraid? I'm like, afraid of what? I mean, it's legal. So why am I afraid? It's not the gateway drug that you were taught. It's not the evil, the end of the world kind of stuff that people have been taught. And there are so many health and wellness benefits. This is me speaking, not you, but health and wellness benefits that I have personally experienced. But I had to go through a trial too. I had to figure out what worked for me. I had to not give up after taking one dose. I had to really figure out what worked for me, when it worked for me best. It's just like anything else. You have to tweak it until it fits you. And I think people just give up.
And to that point, Ted, I mean, it's also the right product. I mean, you mentioned, you like a tincture. Some people like gummies. Some people like capsules. Some people like to smoke it. We have lotions, like I said, and some people like that. It's really kind of figuring out what you need and what you're looking to take and feel most comfortable with. It's funny how you say they gave you a hard time on your show. Let me paint you a picture. So here you've got myself and our other founders, and we're all pretty well known in our communities and pretty prominent, and sit on boards and do these, give back to the community and do things. And let me tell you, a transition from working in corporate Fortune 500 women's retail to all of a sudden walking out with leaves behind me. You just got to own it and smile and know that you're doing the right thing and move forward. And I've got 3 kids. 2 are older. One lives in North Carolina. One lives in Colorado, and then I've got my youngest who is 17 in high school here. And it's been interesting to watch that shift. And he jokes with me all the time. He's like, "Oh, my dad's the weed dad," but it's in good fun. And he understands that it's a business and that it's a wellness program. And these things aren't taking place.
It's just changed. And I love that. And I think, even 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, that conversation would have been interesting. It's just that the mindset has shifted, thank God. And I just feel like people are beginning to figure out that they can embrace it and then try to maneuver through. And I think you just have to, like for me, smoking wasn't good because I don't like smoke.
Right.
All. And so I was so excited to have other options. Gosh, there's even a patch. There's all sorts of ways you can do this stuff.
So like this is something that for people who may not like anything we talked about, this is a beverage enhancer. If you got a cup of water or iced tea or whatever else, you can squirt this in there and drink it. And you're going to get the same impact and effects that you would from anything else. So to your point, there's a variety of ways, especially with some creative products that are out there. We talk about all this. I think what's important about education, what's important is, no matter where you're buying your product, no matter what you're looking for, there should be some sort of QR code or scan that you can look for testing that will tell you what's in these products. Has it been approved by the state of Florida? Is it a tested product? And those are the things that I think everyone needs to pay attention to, because as this industry grows, there's going to be people that want to jump in and jump out, make a few bucks, and that's not us, and that's not the people that are really in this for the right reason.
So tell them how they can find you best, if it's the website, how they can reach you, how they can learn more. I have lots of love going on all the platforms, and they want to know more, but the best way for you to do that is...
Yeah, so if you're traveling through Venice, right down in downtown Venice, stop in and check us out in the Venice location. If you're traveling through Fort Myers, again, we're in downtown Fort Myers, so check us out. Come in. It is a beautiful location. We've got pretty funky green tiles on the bar, and we've got super cool lights, and inside the store you can eat and drink and be merry, and cannabis beers and CBD seltzers. We have a CBD counter that sells product on both sides of the stores. And if you're not in those two locations, you can find us at seedandbeanmarket.com. And then the hemp line that we have is purenativelifestyles.com. And for those of y'all that may be watching that are UFC fans, we are the first hemp company to endorse a Florida fighter, Nico Price, who actually will be fighting this weekend. Nice. And uses all these products for his muscle recoveries, and he may need them more than I do. He's a little tougher than me, but I think that the reason I mention that is it shows the overall wellness of what these products can do, and especially with athletes that train at such a high level. It's a clean product. It doesn't alter their training, and it allows them to get on regimens that are for the wellness and the wellness of not only themselves, but the whole product together makes it a really good situation. If that's not your thing, you don't like UFC, and you just want to come and hang out with us, that's fine too.
Listen, and I want to encourage people to go to the website. If you're not near either of the locations, please go to the website. Cole is also on social media. You can reach out to him, but it's seedandbeanmarket.com. Super excited to have you on. We did it. We did it, and it was fascinating, and I love the presentation, your background and everything, Cole. And you've got that chill approach to things, which I absolutely love. I think more people need that, by the way.
I do too.
I don't know why you choose to be completely stressed out all the time when you could be at least chill some of the time.
All they got to do is come see us at Seed and Bean, and they'll chill out and use our product.
Y'all want to know why I'm calm and happy all the time? Go to seedandbeanmarket.com and you'll find out. All right, buddy. Thank you so much for being on the show. You guys reach out. Cole's available. His team's available. Ask questions. Get involved, and if it's the right thing for you, now you have a place to shop for it. So thank you.
Please do, Ted. Have me back anytime, man. I'd
love to have you back anytime. I'm going to buy some of those seltzers. So I want to try them. But you guys reach out, seedandbeanmarket.com. Cole.